Imagine crime had a shopping cart. Pick a voice, pick a face, pay fast, and get delivery by email. No mask, no hacking skills. Just a menu of trust scams, priced like software, and updated every week right now. That is Deepfake-as-a-Service, or DaaS. Not a trick video, but an entire business model for deception. Tonight, I'll explain how this market works, who gets hurt, what governments are trying, and why it's still messy. Done. Think of DaaS like ordering a fake identity costume, except the costume speaks in your mom's voice perfectly right now. The scary part is scale. One criminal used to write scripts, now thousands can rent the same playbook right now. So instead of asking, is this clip fake? Ask, who sold this and how are they cashing out? Right now. We'll follow the supply chain, then hit two brutal arenas: financial fraud and sexual exploitation. Step by step right now. Definition time. DaaS means you outsource deepfake creation to vendors who deliver voice, video, or images on demand right now. Vendors often bundle extras: setup guides, customer support, revision requests, and even refunds if the sample fails in real life. This turns deepfakes into products, not experiments, and products spread faster than hobby projects ever could in real life. Step 1 is data: voice notes, selfies, live stream clips, LinkedIn videos, or any clean audio from the target right now. Step 2 is synthesis: generate a voice clone, face swap, or full talking head that survives low-quality phone video. Step 3 is scripting. They add urgency, authority, and a believable reason because persuasion beats pixels every time right now. Step 4 is distribution. Texts, calls, ads, bots, and group chats, all optimized to reach victims quickly. Step 5 is cash out. Wires, gift cards, crypto, Mule accounts, and laundering routes that hide the receiver. Notice what changed. Criminals buy a service, victims face a campaign, and platforms see a flood of variants. That's why DaaS matters. It industrializes trust theft, like a factory turning human instinct into profit. If deepfakes were fireworks, DaaS is the supply store, the delivery truck, and the instruction manual together. And because it's a market, competition improves quality. Fewer glitches, better accents, and faster turnaround times. Problem 1 is cost. DaaS lowers the price of convincing deception, so more people can afford to offend. Problem 2 is speed. Scams used to take days. Now they launch in minutes with templates and automated outreach. Problem 3 is scale. One operator can run dozens of targets because content generation is basically infinite. Problem 4 is specialization. Makers, brokers, distributors, and cashers operate separately like a criminal supply chain. Remove one seller, another appears. Ban one channel, another opens. The business adapts like water finding cracks. Problem 5 is psychology. Your brain trusts familiar voices, familiar faces, and urgent requests, especially under stress. So the tech is only half the story. The other half is human behavior being exploited with factory efficiency. And yes, propaganda groups can benefit too. Mass-produced persuasive media can recruit, intimidate, or confuse cheaply. But our focus is measurable harm: money lost, identity stolen, and victims trapped in sexual coercion loops online. Now let's see how DaaS turns authority into dollars, starting with the most common arena: financial fraud. If you ever thought, I'd never fall for this, remember, scams are designed for your worst day, not your best. Ready for the playbook? We'll walk the timeline like a detective from first ping to final payment. Scene 1. The lure arrives, usually a text or email, claiming urgency from your boss, bank, or agency. Scene 2. A voice call follows, and the voice sounds right, with the same rhythm, pauses, and little habits. That tiny familiarity flips a switch. You stop verifying and start obeying, because the social script feels real. Then comes the ask. Transfer funds, buy gift cards, share a code, or approve a payment just this once. Sometimes they add a quick video call, grainy on purpose because low quality hides artifacts and sells plausibility. They also use multi-channel pressure: call, text, voicemail, and email, creating the illusion of legitimacy everywhere. Inside companies, they target finance teams, new employees, or remote workers because procedures are weaker under speed. Outside companies, they mimic family emergencies. I lost my phone. I'm in trouble. Please send money now. DaaS makes this easier by supplying customized voice clones, so even skeptical people hear someone they love. From there, money moves fast. Wires, instant transfers, crypto, or gift cards that vanish like smoke. The cash out network matters. Mules receive funds, split them, and forward them, making recovery nearly impossible. Every step is optimized like marketing: reduce friction, increase urgency, and keep the victim talking, not thinking. So regulators warn the finance sector: don't treat voice or video as proof, treat them as untrusted inputs. Banks push boring controls, call back on known numbers, require dual approvals, and delay large transfers by default. It's not glamorous, but process beats panic, and panic is exactly what the scammer is selling you. If you want one rule, it's this: any unexpected money request deserves a second channel verification, always. Now let's switch to the darker arena, where the currency isn't dollars but shame, fear, and control. Because for sexual exploitation, DaaS turns a normal selfie into a weapon with terrifying speed and reach. And unlike stolen money, reputation damage can't be reversed with a refund, a bank reversal, or insurance. So we need to understand the harm loop, not just the initial upload, because the loop is the punishment. Step 1. Target selection. Abusers pick someone with social stakes like students, creators, activists, or employees. Step 2. Fabrication. They generate explicit images or videos without consent, sometimes using only public photos and clips. Step 3. Distribution. They post in private chats, paywalled groups, or burner accounts, then let reposters multiply it. Step 4. Coercion. The message is simple: comply, pay, or stay silent, or the content goes to everyone you know. This is not just online. Victims face real-world consequences: school discipline, job risks, family trauma, and isolation. Platforms may remove posts, but copies survive: screenshots, mirrors, reuploads, and edited versions that dodge detection. So victims end up in an exhausting loop: report, wait, reappear, report again, and watch the clock keep winning. Some countries criminalize creating these materials, not just sharing them, because the act itself is a direct violation. Others focus on fast takedowns, forcing platforms to build notice systems, deadlines, and escalation paths for victims. But speed is still a problem. Abuse spreads instantly while legal and platform processes move in hours or days. Meanwhile, criminals offer cleanup services too, hiding their tracks, rebranding channels, and shifting communities overnight. That's the marketplace logic again. The same ecosystem that sells harm also sells support to keep harm profitable. Now, zoom out. How are governments reacting overall? They usually choose 4 policy lanes, each with trade-offs. Lane 1 is transparency. Label synthetic media so audiences know when something was generated or manipulated. Lane 2 is platform duty. Set rules for reporting, removal, repeat offender bans, and preservation of evidence logs. Lane 3 is criminal law. Punish non-consensual sexual deepfakes, identity fraud, and organized scam facilitation. Lane 4 is sector defense. Finance and telecom rules that limit impersonation, robocalls, and account takeover tactics. In Europe, the AI Act leans on transparency duties, pushing disclosure when AI-generated media is used as deepfake-style content. China emphasizes both visible labels and technical markers, trying to keep provenance inside files even when content travels widely. South Korea looks hard at advertising because fake endorsements and AI-made promos are a fast lane to mass scams. In elections, countries like Singapore tighten rules during campaign windows because political deception can trigger real instability. For sexual deepfake abuse, the UK moves toward criminalizing creation, not only distribution, treating fabrication as the core harm. Australia's online safety enforcement shows another approach. Empower a safety regulator to demand removal and penalize non-compliance. In the United States, policy debates include faster takedown frameworks for intimate abuse and clearer accountability for platforms. Also in the US, telecom regulators target AI voice robocalls because phone networks became the cheapest stage for impersonation. Financial regulators issue advisories, warning banks that deepfakes can spoof identity checks and undermine know-your-customer systems. Boyad. So the response is real. The problem is that DaaS behaves like a supply chain, not a single illegal post. Which brings us to the hardest chapter. Why enforcement struggles even when laws look tough on paper? We'll do it as 5 limits, like a checklist, because the same failures repeat across countries and platforms. Limit 1, detection is an arms race. Generators evolve fast while police training, standards, and court proof move slowly. Limit 2, labels break. Metadata gets stripped by uploads, and screenshots create new copies with zero provenance attached. Limit 3, the market is modular. Makers, brokers, distributors, and cashers swap parts easily, keeping operations alive. Limit 4, borders. Servers, operators, victims, and payments sit in different jurisdictions, turning every case into paperwork. Limit 5, closed channels. Encrypted chats and private groups hide transactions and evidence until after damage is done. And one extra, free speech clashes, especially in politics, where defining deception can become a partisan battlefield quickly. So what works? First, add friction. Slow transfers, verify requests, and treat sudden urgency as a bright red flag. Second, use a callback rule. Confirm by calling a saved number, not the one that just called you today. Third, for workplaces, require two-person approval for payments and log every exception every time without embarrassment. Fourth, for families, agree on a simple safe word so a fake voice cannot hijack your emotions anymore. For sexual deepfake harm, speed matters. Fast takedowns help, but so do legal support, counseling, and safer reporting channels. Policy-wise, don't chase only videos. Hit the brokers, the cash-out networks, and the hosting that keeps the marketplace alive. And push provenance that survives sharing, because invisible metadata is fragile when screenshots become the internet's native language. The big lesson is simple. Deepfakes are content, but DaaS is commerce, and commerce always finds new routes. So next time you see a perfect clip, ask who sold the trust, who got paid, and how the delivery happened.